The last thing any of us wants these days is a compromised immune system. Sure, we have antibiotics and other treatments that can help us if we get an infection, but nothing beats a strong immunity. Sadly, our modern lifestyle seems custom-built to strip away our natural defenses. Between the things that we put or don't put in our bodies, as well as our habits and routines, it's depressing to think of how we're sabotaging ourselves in the face of a world full of more disease and other health risks than ever. In today's video, we'll be going over 10 things you may be doing to lower your immunity. You may find yourself being guilty of one or even multiple of the infractions on this list. But there is some good news. These are all factors that can be changed starting today. If keeping strong defenses in these unsure times is important to you, be sure to smash that like button, share this video with friends and family, and subscribe. Remember that we have new videos like these every Wednesday and Friday. Now let's get to the list. Eating too much sugar. At this point in time, we don't think there's anyone left who believes that sugar has any kind of health value to it. Whether it's rotting your teeth or giving you a big belly, it seems that nothing good can come out of sugar consumption. But one effect that most people typically don't think of when it comes to excess sugar consumption is how it affects the immune system. Studies going back all the way to 1973 have shown the effects of sugar on white blood cells. In a very literal sense, it puts your immune system to sleep and greatly affects the way your body attacks bacteria and produces antibodies. So how much sugar is too much sugar when we're talking about its effects on the immune system? Doctors suggest staying below 75 grams per day. Now that might seem like a high number and one that you may not have to worry about, but keep in mind that a single can of cola can contain upwards of 40 grams of sugar. And remember how much sugar is hidden within many processed foods we eat on a daily basis. Drinking too much alcohol. It's no secret that drinking in moderation can do wonders for the body, especially for the cardiovascular system. But like so many other things in life, just because one glass of wine can offer amazing benefits doesn't mean that the whole bottle at once is a good idea. Many of us find ourselves not only overindulging on a low level, but also throwing caution to the wind on the weekends or holidays. There's long been a connection between alcohol abuse and diseases of the lungs, such as pneumonia and tuberculosis. Of course, the alcohol itself doesn't cause these diseases, but it weakens the natural immunity that we have in our lungs and leaves them much more susceptible to infection. Other studies have shown that alcohol abusers are also at a much higher risk of septicemia, by way of bacterial infections in the lungs leaking into the bloodstream. The immune system is a very complex mechanism that has to be fine-tuned to work at peak efficiency. There are various types of cells and systems at play to keep you safe from infection. More research needs to be done to fully understand the connection between excess alcohol and the immune system. But it appears that large amounts of alcohol affects nearly every part of the immune system negatively. Tobacco use. Unlike the first two items on our list, there is no safe or acceptable level of tobacco use. Even secondhand smoke is well known to have devastating effects on the body. While many people associate tobacco use with cancers of the lungs for smokers and cancer of the mouth for tobacco chewers, use of this common substance also has dangerous effects on the immune system. Much like with alcohol, tobacco use greatly weakens the defenses that we have in our lungs. Every time you take a puff from a cigarette, cigar, or pipe, your lungs immediately go into damage control mode and have to forego the types of protections that non-smokers naturally have. As a result, smokers are at a much greater risk for pneumonia and influenza compared to the general population. One area that most people don't think of when it comes to tobacco use is how it strips away our immunity within the bloodstream. When most of us think of a nutrient that helps our immune system, we might think of vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of the most important antioxidants in our diet. However, when you use tobacco, chemicals that have a very strong oxidative effect enter your bloodstream, neutralizing a large portion of vitamin C and other antioxidants that we take so much care to consume. Too much caffeine. It seems like we're really attacking all the fun things that people like to eat and do. Caffeine is oftentimes associated with food and drink that are actually pretty healthy for us, such as coffee, chocolate, and many teas. But overconsumption of caffeine can do more damage to your body than just making your heart go into overdrive. One of the ways that caffeine does its job is by increasing adrenaline levels throughout the body. This causes you to go into a natural state of stress, which gives you increased energy and focus. If you drink a cup of coffee or two per day, then you really shouldn't have to worry too much about that. But if you're the type of person that consumes large amounts of caffeine, your body will start to produce large amounts of another chemical known as cortisol. Cortisol is a normal part of the human body and is needed in order to survive. However, when produced in large amounts, it can play a very strong effect on reducing the effectiveness of the immune system. In particular, cortisol appears to play a role in reducing the activity of T cells, which are more specialized white blood cells, causing infections to last longer and to sometimes grow out of control. Not staying hydrated. While we can't speak for other planets, we know that water is the foundation for all life here on Earth. We could literally spend months doing videos on the importance of proper hydration and how that plays a role in our overall health. But one area that often gets overlooked when we think about staying hydrated is how it affects our immunity. Dehydration, or even just a lack of complete hydration, can play a role in weakening of the immune system in many different ways. One way that we'll mention here was a study done at Hirosaki University in 2013. They studied groups of people with varying hydration levels and noticed that groups that were the most dehydrated had the lowest level of neutrophils. Neutrophils are the foot soldiers of the immune system, making up the largest percentage of the total number of white blood cells. While not as specialized as T cells, they're the frontline forces when it comes to just about any kind of infection. Hydration plays a large role in their production, as well as their maintenance, and by not drinking enough water, we can severely restrict the single most powerful force of our defenses. Just like with our other videos, our goal is to help you stay healthy and to help your friends and family do the same. If you know someone who might have problems with their immune system or feel they might have problems in the future due to their lifestyle, be sure to share this video with them. And now back to the list. Not getting enough sleep. Even though this is something that all of us do every day, it's incredible how little we understand about sleep and how it works. However, there does appear to be a strong connection between the amount of quality sleep we get and the strength of our immune system. A 2011 study from Washington State University showed a strong connection between the amount of sleep patients got and how strong their innate immunity was. This study showed a strong connection between inflammation related to normal sleep levels and the strength of the overall immune system. Just like how it seems that all things related to sleep studies end up being, the researchers saw a complex physiological link of ATP synthesis, neurological activity, inflammation, and overall levels of white blood cells and immune-related hormones. Essentially, the better we sleep, the stronger our defenses. Another factor seen in multiple studies is the time that we rest and don't use muscles directly results in more energy that can be used for building up of our immune system. Not only is it true that rest is one of the best medicines when you're already sick, but getting sufficient sleep will make sure that you'll get fewer illnesses in the future. Poor social life. All of us have varying levels of social skills and desires. Some of us are social butterflies, while others prefer to be hermits. But irregardless, human beings are social animals. Isolation is not good for any of us, even if we feel that we want to be alone all the time. Having a poor social life has been linked to a wide variety of issues, ranging from depression to heart disease. But what may be surprising for some is how a healthy social life has been linked to a healthy immune system. In fact, some studies have shown a significant difference in the lifespan of more social people versus those who tend to be loners. This is very much an issue for debate as to what exactly causes the correlation. However, the body-mind connection is one that is very well known by science and should not be taken lightly. We're not saying that you have to be the life of every party, but be sure to at least pick up the phone and call your mom every once in a while. Sedentary lifestyle. As if couch potatoes needed any more bad news. The problem with living a sedentary lifestyle is that it's counterintuitive to the way we were designed. While we weren't designed to be running on a treadmill 24/7, our bodies are not set up to sit on a couch all day long and stare at a screen while eating potato chips. In a very literal sense, by living a lifestyle that we weren't designed to live, our bodies change on a cellular level. A 2016 study done in Germany showed that there was a significant lowering of natural immunity in patients who are truly sedentary compared to those who lived a moderately active lifestyle. A sedentary lifestyle appears to promote pro-inflammation cytokines, which in turn affected the hormonal and chemical signals that your body would typically give to your immune cells. Those in the sedentary category found themselves much more susceptible to infection and overall sickness compared to their more active counterparts. An overactive lifestyle. On the other end of the spectrum are those considered to be extremely active, such as professional athletes. Ironically, that same German study that we mentioned for a sedentary lifestyle also suggested that those who had a very active lifestyle compared to the average person also suffered from a depression in their immune system. This was echoed in a study that was done by Loughborough University School of Sport and Exercise Sciences. They found that high-intensity athletes were temporarily at a higher risk for upper respiratory infections compared to the general population due to a depression in neutrophil respiratory burst and lymphocyte proliferation. This basically means that it lowered the overall activity of generalized white blood cells and the creation of certain specialized white blood cells in the upper respiratory tract. All things considered, if you have to be one extreme or the other, it would probably be best to be on the overactive side of things than to be sedentary. But that being said, it's probably best to just find a balance and keep yourself in shape while not overdoing it. And that's our list. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end, since this information is so important, especially in this day and age. While many of the items on this list are bad for our health in general, it's also important to recognize that they play a role in our immunity specifically. Were there any items on this list that surprised you, or did we miss something that should have been included? Let us know in the comments. And if you have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to see from us, let us know there too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications for future videos that come out every Wednesday and Friday. Until next time, this has been your friends at Verloda, wishing you good health.